So the first part of this section of the Big Band Olympics is Fancy by Iggy Azalea. What you want to focus on for all of these that we're going to be doing is playing staccato. For example, the first note of Fancy, the E flat, it's got a little dot over the top. That means that you play it a bit shorter. Instead of going, you're going. I'm going to split this up into chunks of about a bar. I'll highlight them in the video. We're going to start at 75 beats per minute, call and response. Feel free to pause the video or rewind it to play along to any bits that you're missing as well. Section 1 is just the first bar. I go, then you go, 75 beats per minute. Your turn. So with that, on the first fret I'm playing the index finger, but on the third fret of the A string and the E string I'm using my ring finger, fourth finger. So that way I don't need to. And by there I'm also using that to mute the D string from ringing out in that second note. So for the second chunk, I'm also including the last two semiquavers, the last tacker on that chunk, because the skipping from isn't easy, but it's something that you need to focus on. So if I were you, I'd just pause the video when I say, and just have a go at switching with your ring finger, fourth finger there, and your index finger there. E string and D string. Just practicing switching between those two notes. Okay, the next step is to add making it two notes instead of one. So once we've had a go at that, once you pause the video, maybe rewinded it if you need to, we're going to play the second chunk at 75 beats per minute. 3, my turn. Your turn. And notice how all the first three notes in that second bar have got the dots on top. That means that you play them short, as I was doing, instead of. Okay, so now we're going to put the first two bars together and just loop them at 60 beats per minute. Well, to be fair, that's the same as doing the whole thing, just looping the first 2 bars. 60 beats per minute, play along with me. 2, 3, 4. Okay, this time, whole thing, 75 beats per minute. 2, 3, 4. Finally, 90 beats per minute. The next section is push it. It's quite, well, it's repetitive. The first and the third bar are the same, and that's what we're going to start focusing on. If you want to say the notes, the rhythm karate for this would be ta, te, te, she, te, she, te, because you've got those quaver rests on beats 3 and 4. The only fret you need is the 3rd fret. I'm using my middle finger for that out of force of habit, but that does mean that you need to work on muting your open strings. Doesn't sound very good. See if you can. I mean, I'm using my right hand to mute, but you can also use your left hand if you want to. We'll do the first bar, 60 beats per minute. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ta, te, te, she, te, she, te. Ready? 2, 3, 4. Ta, te, te, she, te, she, te. 3, 4. Going to move on to the 4th bar now. Just remember that the first note of the first bar has got a staccato, the little dot underneath it, so you play that note short. The second chunk, well, I'm calling it chunk 2, is actually the 4th bar, since the 1st and 3rd bar are the same. it doesn't start on the first beat, it starts halfway through the first beat. So if you're doing your rhythm karate, it would be 1, 2, 3, 4. She, te, 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 she. For this one, you do need a few more fingers. The reason I was using the third finger in the first chunk was so that my second finger, my index finger, first finger, is ready on the B, C, B at the end of chunk 2. So 60 beats per minute, we'll try chunk 2. Ready, 2, 3, 4. She, te, 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 te. Ready, 2, 3, 4. Ready, 2, 3, 4. She, te, 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 te. Ready, 2, 3, 4. So next we're going to put chunks 1 and 2 together. Now we're going to put chunks 1 and 2 together as previously mentioned. Feel free to pause the video here to practice in your own time or rewind to go over any of the chunks. Just leap straight into it. There'll be quite a lot of open string muting. 60 beats per minute, start off slow. I'll just loop it and feel free to join in. 2, 3, 4. Bar 2. Third bar. Now we're going to play Push It all the way through. There's 4 bars. Bear in mind on that second bar you don't actually play anything. And on the 4th bar, you don't come in on the first beat. 60 beats per minute, I'll loop it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Bar 2, 2, 3, bar 3. Rest. Rest. 2, 3, 4. Rest. Rest. 2, 3, 4. Push it at 75 beats per minute. Rest. 4. Rest. 2, 3, 4. push it at 90 beats per minute. 3, 4. Rest. The final part of this musical fitness is Shape of You by Ed Sheeran. I mean, the easiest way to get the rhythm for this one is to listen to the song. I'm sure, well, I hope you know it. But just playing that along to a pulse. We're going to split, let's see, well, each bar can work as its own chunk. I'll do chunk 1, I go, then you go. 2, 3, my turn. Your turn. My turn. Your turn. Your turn. Pause it there. What you can try do if you're starting to get that, use your third finger on the third fret there and just even loop. To sort of get that familiarity with the rhythm. Because now we're going to move on to the next chunk where the rhythm does change. So in the second bar, the notes do change. The rhythm stays the same, but it's just where you have the note. If you have your third fret on the F there, then your index finger can land onto the E, D, third finger on the C. D, F, D, E, D, C. Because if you use them, that's just not going to work as well. There. So I'm going to do the second bar, 60 beats per minute, I go, then you go. 1, 2, my turn. Your turn. Just remember to use different fingers on your frets. You can still use the third finger for the third fret even when it's on different strings though. Now we're going to start putting that together, the 2 bars, because that's all the part is the same 2 bars loop played twice. Use this time now to kind of pause, go back in the video at any other points, any other sections that you wanted to practice, or just practice on your own finding the notes, that's fine. Or, just make sure that you can see a lot of the notes there are again staccato, they've got the dots on top, you play them short. 60 beats per minute. Let's just loop it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Last time. Okay, 75 beats per minute. 4. Shape of you at 90 beats per minute. 1, 2, 3, 4.